and the resultant departure of the clouds that protected them, and eventually how Moshe, who in his merit came the manna, he brought the whole thing back. So the Rebbe said, everything that's written in the Torah is relevant to us. Second, let's see how this goes over here. Everything that's written in the Torah is relevant to us, day to day. So we have to figure out what's this got to do with us. That Miriam died.
Sorry?
Miriam died and the water went away, and that Aaron died and the clouds went away, and then Moshe brought it all back. So if you remember from the last time, we said that these three aspects of water, manna, food, and clouds are found in the Torah. They're found in the Torah. The manna, that's food, bread from heaven. Food goes inside of you, enlivens you. Food, like the Torah also. You read the Torah, you understand it. It goes inside of you and it enlivens you. That's the manna part of the Torah. Then there is the clouds. The clouds, that's the outside part of the Torah. That's sort of like the commandments. They surround a person, right? You don't really understand them, you just do them. And then there's the water that circulates everything. So that the Torah and the commandments are like one unit, and that with yourself. Good, yes.
Which Sicha are we going to be learning now?
We are learning. We're not going to be learning. We already started it, and there's a Sicha in Lekuti Sichot Beit. Beit. The Sicha on Chukat. Chukat. You want to find it in Yiddish?
What's the first words? Or what's the something?
First word. The
or
first
like,
words are Midrashe Chazal, Koshrim B'Parshat Shavua, Kshurim B'Parshat Shavua, Parshat Chukat Masu Parshat Anani Akavod B'Suchot Shel Aaron. Okay, the clouds of glory were in the merit of Aaron, and the water was in the merit of Miriam, and the manna was in the merit of Moshe. Okay, so we said the Torah is a language. The word Torah means teaching. So everything in the Torah, it comes to teach us something about life, day to day. So we said the manna, that's like the Torah. We said there was also different levels of manna. There were the tzaddikim, they got it it was near their door and they didn't have to work so hard. And the people that were the opposite of tzaddikim, they had to go far and grind it up, and etc. And right, the mitzvahs, on the other hand, they're basically the same by everybody. The commandments, that's like surrounding. That's sort of like the clouds of glory. How's it? Okay, what about the water? The water, like we said before, that takes that circulates, keeps a person alive, circulates. Okay, let's look at Dalet. Inyan nosaf yesh b'Torah. There's another thing in the Torah also. Shabo hu domer le'anani kavod. That we saw. So we said these are the three aspects in the Torah. There's the part of the Torah which goes inside of you that you understand. That's each different person. Then there's a part of the Torah which is just translated into doing the commandments. That's basically the same for everyone. And then there is the water part of the Torah, which that makes the godliness, if you want to call it, that makes it all one. Okay, there's another thing about the Torah. Shabohu Domelani and Kavod, that there's the clouds that surrounded are also part of the Torah. We said that's like the commandments, right? That the Torah also protects. So we said in the Torah, there's the water of the Torah, the manna of the Torah, and the clouds of the Torah. The manna of the Torah, that's the thing you understand. The clouds of the Torah, that's like the commandments. That protects you from the outside. When a person, his time comes to leave the desert. What does it mean, leave the desert? Now, when the Jews were in the desert, it was really good for them there. They really liked it in the desert. In the desert, they had everything they needed. But sometimes a person has to leave the desert. In fact, God got very angry at the Jews when they refused to leave the desert and go into the land of Israel. Hakavana kan l'klal ha'olam hazeh. When a person leaves yeshiva, in the religious world, oh, very nice. That's right. This is it. This is it. When in the world, in the religious world, people go to yeshiva, they sit in the yeshiva, and they learn in the yeshiva until they're 18, until wherever. Right? But then comes a time when they have to get married and they have to go into the real world. This world is called Olam HaKlipat V'Sitra Achar. Okay, we're in Daled. Do I have control over this or no? No. As soon as I click on it, the whole thing goes away.
No, I didn't get it here.
See, it's very confusing over here. You got to go to this over here. And you have to, I don't know how you get back into this again. Here we go. Oh, there I am. You have to know which buttons to click. All right, I'm just going to read it in this thing. It's very time consuming. This thing is up here if I don't, because I have to look and find, no. Let's just forget it. Come. This world is called Olam HaKlipat V'Sitra Achra. This whole world is a very disappointing and terrible, frustrating place. Midbar Gadol Nora Asher Ein Bo Mayim. It's called a frightening desert that there's no water. There's klipot, nachash, saraf, akrov. In the desert, there's just scorpions and snakes, right? The world is a very, very, how do you say, not user-friendly place. But it's very difficult to get along in the world, being honest and being, straightforward. And I mean, it certainly is possible, and that's what we're supposed to do. But it's unusual. Umogen az alav koach mesirat nefesh hatavua b'kol echad v'echad Yisrael. The only thing that will save a Jew, if you want to be in the world and act like a Jew, and in fact have an influence on the world, the only way to do it, it has to have self-sacrifice. B'kol b'nei Yisrael, it's found in every single Jew. Mishin she Yisrael, the word Yisrael are the first letters of Yesh Shishim Riboy Osos the Torah. There are 10,000 letters in the Torah. In other words, every Jew is connected to one letter of the Torah. Hari kashe kashruto shel sefer Torah. In order for a sefer Torah to be kosher, it comes only by means of the letters, and therefore every single Jew, even the most simple, ignorant Jew, he has this power of the Torah, the power of self-sacrifice. Limsoret nafsho al kiddush Hashem. That's why we say in the davening, in Shabbos, "V'yenuchu bo kol Yisrael mikadshei shemecha." You remember that? In the davening we say, "V'yenuchu bo kol Yisrael mikadshei shemecha." In the Shmon Esrei, they will rest in the Jewish people will rest in Shabbos. Ratzeinu b'menuchaseinu kadshenu b'mitzvosecha. V'yenuchu bo kol Yisrael. We're waiting for this future Shabbos that's going to be, and then we'll rest, all of the Jewish people will rest, Mekadshei Shemecha, that they are sanctifying God's name, Mekadshei Shemecha. And the Rebbe explains that that's the essence of a Jew, that every Jew is Makadesh Hashemecha. Every Jew has the power of Kiddush Hashem, to give his life for Hashem. Every Jew. That's the essence of a Jew. And the Rebbe explains in the Tanya that if you, a Jew, and every Jew would be willing to give his life and die for the sake of Judaism, so for sure you'd be willing to give up a little of your pleasure, a little bit of your comfort to serve Hashem. Should be, but why don't we do it? It says that's the Ruach Shtus. The person gets all confused. Okay, this power of self-sacrifice, this is like the clouds of glory. This is what protects a person. Keshem she'ananei hakavod, just like the clouds, hikifu v'savavu kol bnei Israel, surrounded all the Jews from the time of Kriyat Yam Suf, from the time they went over the Yam Suf, or the Red Sea, Reed Sea, until they came to the land of Israel. Even those Jews that took with them a little, this is Pesel Micha, they took a little idol from Egypt. They took it out with them. Even that Jew, the lowest, most, how do you say, unfaithful Jew, the clouds of glory surrounded them all. There's also, this is also found in the Torah, the clouds of glory in the Torah. That's this detail that every Jew has a letter in the Torah. What is this letter in the Torah? What is Torah? Torah is pure godliness. Shu kolel et kol ben Israel, and every Jew has it. You're written in the Torah. From the greatest of the great until the smallest of the small. Uma'anik lahem, this power, the letter that every Jew has in the Torah, this is like the clouds of glory that surround every Jew. It's something that's bigger than us and it protects us. Ma'anik lahem koach, it gives power, v'tokef, and strength. La'avor at the midbar agadol anora, to go through this terrible desert, which is called life. Belili to Hashem, without paying any attention, not to be afraid or affected at all from the snakes, the serpents, and the scorpions. V'liyot bahalach ruach shal masirat nefesh, that a Jew is always in a way of self-sacrifice. Kafish Sipur, like it's explained. Like it's explained, Kavod Kodesh Mori Admar, like the previous Rebbe explains, on when the Germans were bombing Warsaw. You know, the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, he was in Poland, he was in Warsaw when the Germans attacked. You know a little bit of a history of World War II. You don't have to know much history, but the Germans actually began belligerent warfare in 1939. They attacked Poland. And that was the beginning. They attached whatever it is, Austria before that, and they gave them the Sudetenland or whatever it was. But then made an actual war, an actual attack, was when they attacked Poland. Poland was totally unprepared. They were totally unprepared. And the Germans just started bombing cities, from nowhere. If I'm not mistaken, and maybe I am mistaken, but if I'm not mistaken, this was the first time that a warring nation intentionally bombed civilians. Civilians were their target. Right? Up to that, even in World War I, they made trenches and they fought army against army. They had battlefields. But the Germans, they attacked cities. They just went right into the cities and just attacked, and bombed and made everybody afraid. So the previous Rebbe was in Warsaw when the Germans attacked. So there is this book about it, how they got the Frierdiker Rebbe out of Warsaw. It was even a German battalion that took him out of Warsaw. The whole thing was really crazy. How there were dead bodies all over the place in the streets, everywhere, just dead bodies. And anyway, when they were bombing, Pamis Daman Mamakom Machse Echad Kavutza Shehechilo Harebi. Anashim Beinonim, Anashim Peshutim. There was a lot of Jews in Poland. In World War II, there was a lot of Jews living, before World War II, a lot of Jews living in Poland. And it's a big doubt how many of them were religious. I mean, there were a lot of religious Jews, there's no doubt about it. There was a lot of Chassidim and a lot of this, but there was also a very, very substantial amount of non-religious Jews. Maybe more than half, maybe 3/4, maybe 1/4. It's moot. But there were a lot of non-religious Jews, and there were a lot of anti-religious Jews, a lot. And it happened that once when there was a bombing, that all of them ran into a shelter. And there were all sorts of Jews there, maybe 100 Jews altogether in the shelter. When all of a sudden a couple of bombs fell nearby, all these Jews screamed out, together, Shema Yisrael. All of them screamed out, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Elokeinu. Jews that were sworn enemies of Torah and scoffed at the Torah and mitzvahs, made all sorts of trouble for the Rebbe and for everybody. When the bomb fell, everyone screamed out Shema Yisrael. When you read this level of the Yechida, the inside of the soul, this is talking about now the clouds of the Torah, right? The clouds, protects all the Jews. When it reaches the essence of the soul, even though it's true, it's hard to get this essence of the soul to be revealed. But when it is revealed, if it's the way we said, or in a terrible way, or in a nice way, like the Chabad houses all over, right? All of a sudden, people are affected by how nice everybody is, how human everybody is. Everybody starts screaming Shema Yisrael. But Oto Tokef, B'Kishel, Mani Yisrael, they said Shema Yisrael just like the Rebbe said Shema Yisrael. Av Ki Yitachen, the Siba, maybe you can say that the reason everybody screamed out Shema Yisrael was because Ashpa Himotze B'Dalet Amotov Shel Bal and Neshama Klolit. Maybe you can say that the reason they all screamed Shema Yisrael was because the Rebbe was there and the Rebbe had a Jewish effect on them. Because the Rebbe is the general soul of all the Jews. And these Jews, the Jewishness of them, at least, that they even denied, was just a part of his Jewishness. But Sibazu Oreris at the Yechida Shalahim. But nevertheless, the presence of the Rebbe aroused their inner soul. They didn't copy the Rebbe. It aroused their true Jewish identity. Kriya Shema. That's the Shema Yisrael. This came from the Yechida, the essence of the soul. This is something like the clouds of glory that surrounded all of the Jews together. Whether the lowest Jew, the highest Jew, the most biggest sinner surrounded, that's the clouds of glory. That was one. When Aaron passed away, as the clouds of glory went away, and Moshe brought it back. We'll see what this has to do with us, God willing, tomorrow.